Good evening. Welcome to the room. It's another fabulous Wisdom Wednesday. Fabulous Wisdom Wednesday. Wonderful. The Stephanie Smart. Stephanie Smart.
Hey, how are you?
Steph, I am great. How in the world are you?
I'm fabulous.
You're fabulous.
I am. It has been a fabulous afternoon.
It has been. What a great day, right?
Yes.
You can't beat a Wednesday. I love Hump Day Wednesday. It's just that. Hump Day.
It's just, I don't even count it like that because it's just another wonderful day.
Just another, every day is a fabulous day, but it's something about hump day. And I think that transitions from
Yes.
when you actually went to a job, you look forward to Wednesday because the was going to be Friday. So when you're at home and you're privileged for every day to be a fabulous day, that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
Welcome to
yeah.
the room, Sparrows. Welcome to the room. It's another
Yeah.
Wisdom Wednesday. And you see, Stephanie is already here. Stephanie Smart
I
of
am.
Laughing Dragon. Laughing Dragon. So come on into the room. We're not even going to waste any time on it today. I said I'm not going to do all of that fluff. And what I will do is introduce myself and then transition on so we can have our juicy conversation when it comes to Stephanie. And Stephanie is
You
a
bet.
very, very cool gal. She's a very cool gal. So, for those of you who are coming in, I am Valerie Miller of TVM, the Valerie Miller Double Fold. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. Every day is an opportunity to change, to make yourself different, to make yourself greater, to push towards something that matters. No reason to be stagnant when we can change and have everything. That's how I pretty much look at that. So, welcome to the room, Veronica Morris, Wendy Willis, I see you, Herbert Williams. So, big welcome to you, ma'am. Big
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you so much for having
Yeah,
me. I love being
yeah.
in the room.
Being in the room,
It's
and I
good.
just everything kind of just flows and transitions with our split screen. You see how the colors kind of coordinate.
We're
You got all
good.
your
We did
dates,
that.
yeah, and the colors,
Yeah.
everything matches. Welcome in the room, Veronica Mars. You're at work with the kiddos, but you're watching them. They're watching a movie, so you can tune in. Thank you so much for multitasking and then make sure you're present in the room. So if you're a veteran, be sure to say, hashtag veteran. If you're a newbie to the room, hashtag newbie. If you're a visitor because you are a follower of Stephanie's, say hashtag visitor because I like to know who's in the room and where everybody is coming from, if you're a regular or not, where you're coming from in this country, other countries, because for whatever reason, the World Wide Web, it brings in so many people from different places.
It's great.
I love it. Yeah.
I do not have comments, so if somebody has a question or something, I'm gonna need you to help. I can't get comments and you for some reason, so
Well, that's not right. But I'll tell you what, I will take care of all of that. No worries.
fabulous.
Yes, it's all the way.
Fabulous. Yeah, it's
Yes,
good.
indeed. Adele, welcome to the room. So I'm jumping straight in.
Is there any other way to do it?
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
I'm in love with your company name. Needless to say, like I
Yes.
is consciousness coach to coach, right? We have
Hmm.
similarities of things that we do, however different. That's what I love
Absolutely.
about it. And you have a story of your own. We're
We
gonna
all have
get,
stories.
yeah, everybody has a juicy story, whether you believe it's juicy or not. We have a story. We have a
Right.
story.
Yeah.
And I love bringing others on, like yourself, to share yours. So we're gonna get to Laughing Dragon. We're gonna get to that because that is like
Hmm.
my favorite. I love that,
Uh-huh.
and it's so close in similarity to what the sparrows mean,
Hmm.
right? We
Right.
determined this early on.
Yep. Yep, we did. It was good.
However, Beth, this is hypothetical. I want
Hmm.
you to tell me and the sparrows about you, like an introduction of you. However, you're pretending that we have known each other since grade school. However, we haven't seen each other in a while, right? That's
Hmm.
how I want you to catch us up with you, what you're doing, how you got to where you are with laughing that, so we can stir up some conversation.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay? Yeah, talk to us.
Yeah, so since grade school, huh? That's pretty cool. I like having friends since grade school. It's good.
Those are
Um,
true friends.
many things have changed in my life because now I've grown up, and that's a like a lovely winding path, which I
Mhm.
really enjoy. That we get to step forward and just keep doing the next piece, and we
Yeah,
never know where we're gonna end up. And so it's like,
yeah.
I graduated high school, and I come from a very dysfunctional household, and I graduated high school, moved out on my own, and just started down this path that was not very healthy,
Uh-huh.
and did a lot of drugs and alcohol. And then I got clean and sober, and I've been clean and sober for 32 years now, and 31, 32 years. I have to do the math really quick in my head, and and it's been this lovely path of finding myself. We think we grow up in this environment where we go to school and we have these like lives as kids, and we learn.
Girl.
As a kid, you think, oh, you're going to learn all this stuff about you, and you're going to find out who you are and what you want to be. And I never got any of that growing up. And so, you
No.
know, as I got clean and sober, and I started on this path of like figuring out who I was and remembering who I was, and all the personal growth and personal development that goes along with that, it was not pleasant and not fun. But when you get into these situations, you find this place of understanding that it's about life and death, and that sometimes it's a physical life and death, and sometimes it's a spiritual life and death, and that
True.
having that understanding is fuel and an incredible motivator to keep going forward. And so in that process, I discovered that I really wanted to be following along with what I grew up with, which was playing with dragons and energy, and really understanding and seeing all the different nuances in the world, and seeing all
Uh-huh.
the paths and patterns that are happening. It's like I live in this world where I'm constantly seeing all the different pathways possible, and all the different dimensions, one might say, right? And so,
Yes.
taking that as growing up and just living in that world, and then discovering that I could not only live in that world, but I could thrive in it, and take that information and that ability to see and feel, and help other people get really clear about what brings them joy, and what brings them the abundance and thriving that they want. And so I've gone through this long path of and going through school, and I have a bachelor's in business management, and I did graphic design, and what I love, all that creativity, and then going from that to really delving into alternative medicine. And
Mhm.
I've done a whole lot of that, and so bringing that full circle around, taking that stuff and then applying it to my own family, where I have a lovely wife and two kids, and we're about to celebrate 29 years together. And it's like, that is so much joy for me of just like knowing that somebody's got my back, and that I
Of course.
always have this support. And so going from that and bringing that rock solid component of who I am as a foundation into my
Yes.
business, I love. And so, I don't really think about it as hump day. I think about it as I get to do this another day, and it's so lovely.
Considering when you look back over the years and what it took to get here,
Hmm.
that's the graciousness in it all. You know,
Yes.
Th-
Yes.
that's the beauty. And we do tend to have images or plans for our lives from grade school.
We
The
do.
whole, when I grow up, I want to be, I want to do.
Absolutely, and I use that. I walk people back through that process in my work when I coach people, because I feel really deeply and really strongly that those passions and dreams are really integral to who we are as a person. And
That's true.
I talk about that as part of our soul song. And I wanted to be a marine biologist growing up, and I even started college to become a marine biologist, and
Uh-huh.
that didn't end up being what was going to happen in my life. But when I go back and I look at that, that stuck with me from the earliest memory that I have. And I still, give me being out on a boat and watching the dolphins, or in my kayak in the ocean. It's like any way that I can get myself close to or in water just like changes my whole being. And so it's
It
like,
does.
how do we bring those things into our life today? And that's what
Every
I do,
day.
and that's what I do with people. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, every day. And it's like, okay, you didn't end up being a marine biologist. What are the components within that that still bring you so much joy and still make your whole self light up? And
It does.
those are the things that need
Yeah.
to be happening.
And it's something that takes provoked thought to
Hmm.
do if you
Absolutely.
sincerely want it, because to some level, you should be in touch with yourself to have done or in the process of becoming that person from a kid, 5 years old to 10 years old,
Hmm.
those things, because those are the truest images of what we sincerely want to be when we grow up.
Hmm.
So, with you saying that, a marine biologist, and looking at the dynamic of that, I've always wanted to be a pilot. This girl has always wanted to fly, and
and
it's been
and
purpose behind.
and now you're
I'm a
flying with your
sparrow.
sparrows.
I'm a sparrow. I'm flying with the sparrow. You see, that's movement.
Hmm.
That's seeing things differently. That's looking from 3D bird's eye view of things, not taking so much to heart, really living out the destiny of what I've always wanted for myself. Journalism,
Hmm.
communications, all those things. I'm communicating right now. Journalism is this show. All of the jobs I've ever held is
Hmm.
in alignment to something I've always dreamt of doing.
Yep.
Always. And that's important. We have to do these things if we take notice of it.
Yeah, and we so often get to the place where we just put a damper on it. So
Yes.
there's that, I'm going to school, I'm going to follow along with what society says I should do, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to, get married, have kids, get a picket fence kind of thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
hold on, let's at some point, so many of us look around and go, is this all there is? Or
Right.
we're just like that wishful thinking, or that heartstring that's always like, oh, but and it's like, we have to get to the place where we're willing to look at that and then make a choice about integrating that into your life. and
Yes,
i
indeed.
and I talk about that as our legacy. And
Yes.
it's like, what do we want for that legacy when all is said and done? What is it that we want to be known for? What is it that we want to have done? and
Exactly.
and and I want us to be able to bring that into our lives. Or when I was a corporate executive, I was
Yes.
sitting in my office, and I picked up the phone, and it was my boss, and he was busy yelling at me at high volume. And I hear a voice, and this voice asked me, if today were the last day I have on this earth, would I be happy with the legacy I left? And boy, that was a
Oh,
showstopper. you know, the,
wow.
the answer was an immediate no. I didn't even have to think about it. But then it's like, well, now what? And I quit my job that day, and I took
Correct.
action. And I think
Yes.
this is the thing. It's like, once we realize that we're in that hamster wheel and we're not really doing what it is that brings us the most joy, we have to take action, and we have to be
Now,
willing.
right.
Yeah.
Right now, and not put it off. Because if you take too much time to think about it, Laura Williams, welcome to the room. When you take too much time, you'll talk yourself out of it.
Absolutely.
And then you continue to be on that downward spiral in your life, and excuse after excuse after excuse. However, there's only one time to have somebody to be on the other end of the phone yelling unnecessarily, and then you ask yourself uh, a life-changing question like that. You have no other choice but to move
Right.
on that.
Yeah. And if we, it's even worse than, it's like if we have that understanding and we have this moment of awakening, right?
Hmm.
And this moment of
Hmm.
awareness, and then, and we know what needs to happen, but we don't take action. It's actually, not only is it like this downward spiral, but it for me, what it feels like is that it's so much more of just like, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, and all those
Exactly.
negative voices come in, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's not who you are. Those are
Right.
not your voices. And we just give that so much power, and then we become disempowered. And it's like
So
the action is what empowers us.
yes, because it fuels
Hmm.
that flame that's already in here, and then determination kicks in, focus kicks in,
Yep.
drive kicks in, excitement kicks in. So when as the momentum builds, then you're getting to that place that is that awakening place. We
Hmm.
all have that spirit that we're born with. And within that, there is a gift or a talent or whatever you want to call it that we're born with. And if we don't tap into that thing that we love so much, I was just talking about it on Monday, Matters of the Heart Monday. If you don't tap into that, you're going to always be looking for something
Yeah.
in your life. You're looking, constantly looking, and it's already within you, but it's your decision that's going to awaken it. And
It's your, and then it's your action that's going to make it a reality.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that, I think you tapped onto something really important. It's like that always looking. And if we don't take action on it, then we are always looking. And I think that this is where that, the mentality that we see right now of the squirrel, it's like, oh, shiny object syndrome, or oh, this, or let me, and that hustle, and never being satisfied. So
right.
it's like, no, you have right here, you have within you, and it just is. And it's like, no, I don't have to have this big thing, right?
No,
My gift, my life that I want it to look like, could be a matter of just going to work and coming home, and just let there be ease. And so I talk about, where is the path of ease? Because it doesn't have to be this constant, like, going, 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 going. And we
yes, it
set
wears you
ourselves
out.
up. Yes.
It wears you out over time. And Laura Williams, she
Hi,
put a
Laura.
comment. Hi, Laura. She says you have to follow your bliss, find what makes you alive, and then just do it.
Absolutely.
100% correct. I agree with that because it's the thing that you will do and not get paid for it. It's the thing that wakes you up in the morning. You're excited about it. You can barely sleep at night because you have a million and one ideas that surrounds it. I am happy. Joy has been brought up to the top.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think, it's like, I talk about building a business that has you
Hmm.
dancing with joy. and
Yeah.
and it's like that, just excitement needs to be happening, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're not. Your
Yeah.
life needs to have joy in it every single day.
Every day.
It's just like that needs to be baseline. And when we get there, it's like you take yourself and you set yourself up for these moments of just being able to sit back, have that deep breath, and just like go, wow, I get this. I
It
get this
makes you feel
life.
good.
Yeah.
It does. It gives you life. It's air in your lungs.
Hmm.
It just is. Hello, Myra. Hi, Megan. Welcome to the room. And anytime you can do something that inspires you to be grateful, that inspires you to be happy in that moment, do more of it. Do
Absolutely.
more of it. I think it's the most empowering thing in the world to live in your grace, to do what you were literally born to do.
Yeah.
Because every day is the holiday, every day is the weekend. It literally is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's a that it makes me think about podcast I just did this week about
Mhm.
creating ripples. And I talk about this in my work a lot, that we I want us to illuminate the path before the
Mm-hmm.
not only the path for those behind us, but the path for those who are walking with us. And it's like that's how we
Yeah.
create ripples. And I was we are a musical theater family in my house, and so we've been watching a bunch of musicals, and so we were watching, listening to the soundtrack for Hamilton, and then we watched Mary Poppins Returns, then we watched
Uh-huh.
Moana, and so there's been this like theme, and the recurring theme in all of those is Lin-Manuel Miranda, and
Uh-huh.
you just think, I got to thinking, what if he had said, "Oh, who wants to hear this play?" Right? This rap. Who wants to hear, and never put those words down and never let his voice out. And that ripple effect of what he does, it's like we all sat and watched this movie. We sat and watched Moana as a family. And
Uh-huh.
it's like, all four of us were sitting there laughing and having this, 2-hour event of as a family, and then we listened to the soundtrack, going to school the next day, and it just started these conversations. And it's like, here's this ripple effect that happened because one person didn't say, "Oh, who wants to hear? Who am I?"
Exactly.
And
Yes.
and this is where I just want to like take people and go, "You have something in you that has to come out. Like, don't listen to the
Share
negative
it.
voices." Yeah,
Share it. And stay away from the negative voices, because it's going to be more negative voices in your ear than those that are going to be inspiring you to share what it is that you have. And
exactly.
all of us have something great inside of us to bring to the world, and somebody somewhere is waiting for it. So if
Yeah.
you never present it to the world, then they're going without, they're
And you
seeking,
and
and
you never know. You never know what's going to happen with like what you do affects one person, and then
yeah.
that changes, and then that affects somebody else, and then and you get this ripple. And you never know unless you're willing to show up and do the work and take action.
Well, that's the magic word. Do the work. Most don't want to do the work that's associated with bringing whatever that dream is to life. They get very comfortable and complacent where they are to avoid the work, to stagnate happiness and the joy that's just waiting to burst out.
Right.
I think not, Stephanie. I think not. If you and I had done that, we never would have met. Our paths
Hmm.
never would have crossed. If you had accept that not nice conversation coming from a boss
Hmm.
before and
Hmm.
stayed there and not quit that day,
Right.
think about what that did to your self-esteem, to
Absolutely.
your consciousness, just in you growing and flourishing. To take, you had courage to say, you know what, I'm done. Today's it.
Yeah. And a concrete example of we ever know what those ripple effects are. It's like I
Right?
quit my job. I then went and got a master's degree in Oriental medicine, and I
Yes.
had a full a clinic for a while, and my practice was about 50% fertility work. So,
Okay.
think about the amount of people that I helped get pregnant. And then
Yeah.
there are people now in this world because I went to school to do that because they didn't listen to the boss. It's like, you don't know what that it's going to be until
That's
you
true.
just keep showing up.
I'm glad you did what you did, because
Me too.
every single thing that you've done, I've done. Every sparrow and follower out there viewing this session, if you had not done what you've done in the past, you wouldn't be where you are presently.
Hmm. Well, it's like we'll just tie this all back around full circle. Laura Williams, if it's since I
Yes,
can't see comments, I'm assuming it's the Laura Williams that I know. She
it
taught
sure
my
is.
she taught my son to read. And so it's like he now is a voracious reader because she did what she did and didn't say no to that. And that's where we really get to where we can tap in to what brings us the most joy. And it's like when we show up with that and we do that work,
Right.
not the work it takes work to become that person, but once we're in that sharing our gift,
True.
when we get to the place of, okay, I'm going to be, a coach, I'm going to be a teacher. And then we go out and do that. And that's really our calling, and that's really our passion. And it comes from in here. The joy that we bring as a result of that versus what would happen if I just went and got a 9-to-5 job somewhere else
That's
is
true.
radically different, both in me and the people that I interact with. And
All the
that's
time.
part of where we get that ripple effect going as well. That when we interact with joy and we bring that joy into the world, the gifts that we are making happen is just, it's magic.
It is magic. It's connecting the dots, linking the chains. Leighton Simmons, Anthony Alton, welcome to the room. You know what? We do have the responsibilities to attach ourselves to the gifts that we were born with. Wake them up. Bring those to fruition. Do the work. I mean, sometimes it takes more work than others. However, the majority of time, it's the decision to do it. Once you decide to do it, then you get hungry for it. And the hungrier you are, and you feel like you have some starvation going on, you're going to do what's necessary to feed the hunger. So the more you do toward that thing you love so much, you're feeding your hunger. And then everybody else around you is happy because of what you are doing, the decision that you made. We have an area, a lane, like you mentioned. It could be teachers, it could be coaching, it could be authors, whatever your area is, whatever it is. Stick to that. However, it's something that you have that's going to expound to make it that much greater, to make you stand out different in that category. Stay in your lane, yes.
And you become such an incredible role model.
Yeah. It's important. And we feed off of each other. Connecting, like I said tonight, coach to coach, consciousness. And consciousness is our spirits. It is that voice that we hear. It's that thing that says, hey, do that, Steph. Hey, Steph, let's not do it. Not that, Steph. But Steph does it anyway.
Yeah, sometimes, right? Because we're human.
We do. Laura says, and fearlessly be ourselves and do what we love. It takes a lot of bravery, but it's worth it. It is worth it, Laura. It's worth it.
Yep.
You're looking at two examples sitting here right now.
Yeah, and I think, and the key, that we talked about not listening to the negative voices, and but there's a component of flipping that, and you need to surround yourself with others who are doing this work, who are tapping into the sharing their gift and identifying and awakening and that whole process. That having that tribe of others who are on the same path is incredibly empowering, because when we do make those choices and we're like, I shouldn't have done that. We have somebody, a group that we can come to and say, okay, I did this. And they're all going to be like, oh, you know what? You're human. It's cool. We all make mistakes. Just what's the next piece, right? And it gets us back onto the path that we want to be on.
It does. And you know what? I am a firm believer to say there is no wrong direction. We take detours.
Yep.
No matter which direction you say you should go right, however you take a left, it's okay to take the left. It's a lesson in every direction that you simply choose. Now, taking the left versus the right, it's just going to take you a bit longer to get to the same destination. It could take you 6 months, a year to get that degree. It could be starting that business. It could be writing a book. However, if you take a different route, eventually you're still going to get there, even if it's 20 years down the road. And I hope it's not 20 years down the road. However, you will get there eventually. That aha happens.
It does. And we gain immense experience and wisdom along whatever path it is that we take. And when we turn left instead of right, and we now have all of this experience to share with others. And and that's where, I talk about building bridges. And it's like, we build the bridge to go from A to B, but it's not always a direct route. And every step that we take is a plank in that bridge. And it gives us
Right.
incredible wisdom and ability to then bring forth and tie those pieces together and weave it together.
I agree. I just get excited. My face hurts. Right now. Because I'm smiling. My face literally hurts.
Good. Smiling is good.
It
Get those muscles using.
It is. And it'll take care of these lines right here, too. You know, that's kind of where they came from, all of these smiles. But at the same time, you're a happier person when you're in alignment with yourself.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, you know, they come to me and they say, Val, you know, how can you help me? Being a conscious change coach, I mean, what can you do to me? Is that a life coach? And I'm like, no, that's not a life coach. Consciousness, that's your spirit. That's that voice. You know, I deal with your mind. Because when your mind can sync with your heart, you're in the right place. You're going to really uncover some things about yourself you never knew. So therefore, I can help you because I introduce you to yourself. And then they do a lean back. Like, what are you doing? I find joy in leading you to yourself. Because sometimes we feel like we know ourselves. 90% of people don't know themselves. Haven't even begun to unlayer who you really are.
Well, there's so many different layers and pieces to who we are as well. It's like you just do the next piece and the next piece. And I think that ties into what we were talking about earlier about, you know, that mentality that I'm seeing a lot right now of hustle and always looking to do the next piece. And it's like, and it's like, no, there's just, you know, you're going to have this life. And it's just going to keep going. And there's today and then the next day and the next day. And it's like, how do you just have a lot of ease in that? And you're still moving towards your goal. You're still having a life. And it's like, how do you bring all of it together? Because it's not just about our business. It's like, you know, I manager, coach, whatever, for my younger son's robotics team. And it's like, okay, so I spend 3 hours almost every afternoon with all these kids, and it's like that brings me so much joy, and it means that I have that less time in my business. That's okay. What do I do when I do how do I bring in the focus for the time that I do have? And it's that balancing it out that's so important.
You have to do that, Steph, and by doing that, it goes back to alignment again, the thing that you were born to do. There is no such thing as a work and life balance. It's one and the same. It's just prioritizing your life to where you get a fair share in each part of it and enjoy every piece of it. No one should get more than the other. Family is family. And when you are in a career that takes you away from your family and you see less of them and more of that, it's time for an adjustment. It's time for an adjustment.
Yeah. It's like, you're right. There's not that work-life balance because and this is what I do when I talk about becoming an entrepreneur. And it's like, you just are a person. And your business is part of who you are.
It is.
And everything else is part of who you are. Exactly. And so, it's like, okay, well, so you're going to have 5 income streams in your business. Well, you also have all these things in your life. They all have to go into the mix. And then you figure out how much time you're going to spend on all of them.
What
brings you the most joy? It doesn't necessarily mean all of this. Yeah.
All of it bring joy.
Yeah.
You know? Creating jewelry brings joy. Creating bath and skin hair care products brings joy. Interior design brings joy. Running my mouth right now brings me joy. Writing books, being an author, brings joy. Bringing happiness and joy, discovering yourselves or other people, making them happy, unlayering who they are, brings joy. So if you can do 5 things, 7 things, no 2 people are going to have the same amount of gifts or treasures or things that you value. Sheila Carswell, Alicia Tyson, welcome to the room. Nobody's going to have the same.
Right.
You get joy. coaching with your son. That's priceless.
Yep.
Things that you can do that are priceless, and then you can still have a stream of income from something that you literally enjoy doing, then that
Mm-hmm.
becomes not work. It becomes fun. That's why you don't care if you're in the middle of the night doing it. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or early morning, crack of dawn, you don't care because you're happy doing it. Skip in your slippers and robes, skip with that cup of coffee or tea. You don't have anybody's office. You just go into the other room, or
Yep.
you have a space that's set up for that. And it is I'm getting hot now. I get excited.
Nice.
I get excited.
It is
I
about
get
that balance. Yes.
It's a balance, and you just
Yeah.
have fun being you and the things that you love, and you get paid to do it, Stephanie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have time to spend with the children, with your wife,
Yep.
or your husband, whoever is out there watching. When you can
It's
have those gifts,
mm-hmm. And I would say that it's I'm not sure I would call it a gift. It's like a conscious choice. You know, it's like I talk about how do you create the life that you want.
right,
And
right,
so it's like, okay, well, my business is this part and personal is this part, and I have all these components.
yeah,
Where do I bring in all the different pieces to make me? And then how do I create that so that I get as much ease and joy and abundance and thriving in my life
yeah,
while I'm doing the things that are so important?
right.
And that creating of it and the ability to create that and to have a life where I create that for me is the gift. Absolutely.
It's a gift. And then we're blessed to give other people the same gift.
Yes.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
When you see somebody else bloom, this little fractured flower that needed some nourishment, a little water, a little fertilizer, a little love, a little confidence building, all of the juicy stuff, personal development, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you have that sunlight to hit them the right way, the water the right way, they accept that beautiful gift that's within them, and they start to bloom. And I'm going to use this fan. Look at this. Look at the bloom.
Yeah,
Use the fan.
nice.
You bloom and you become tulips.
Mm-hmm.
You become tulips or whatever flower, passion flower, whatever you choose. You become that. Your life changes in those moments, literally. And
And
then the question is, why didn't I do this before now? You were
yeah,
not ready then. You had to get to the point to be ready to
yeah.
get that.
And I think, every step of that will keep with the tulips, right? And the tulip is already whole. It's like that flower's already inside.
Yeah.
And every step of recognizing, oh, look, it's spring and I can come out and I can bloom, and every step of that coming up, every single step of it we change.
Right.
And every time we take one of those steps on that path, it reinforces the rest of it to come into play, because we get this momentum going and we're like, oh, this does work, this is cool. Well, let's do the next piece. Yeah.
Because you want to now uncover more about yourself that you have suppressed for a very long time, or it's the first time you've been introduced to that of yourself.
Right.
And you have to slow down to hear that little small faint voice that's inside that's leading you, but it's so much going on in your life you can't hear it. You can't hear it.
Yeah, there's so much noise in the world right now. I mean, there always is, but it feels like there's a lot right now going on that is really distracting for people. And so it's like, how do we just sit here and be that immovable mountain that demonstrates that, you know what, you can have this life that you want, and it can be filled with joy, and it can be filled with
Absolutely.
abundance, and here are the steps to make it happen.
You already know it.
Yep.
All we're going to do is just fertilize it, give it some
Yep.
water.
Yep.
Because you already have every single strategy that you need to become you.
Yep, and help pull out the weeds and let you see the weeds that need to go and what to put there instead. And absolutely,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
There's a great in Oriental medicine we talk about how the person, the patient is the garden, and the practitioner or doctor is the gardener,
yeah.
and it, it's all right there already, and
Mm-hmm.
so you're just doing that nourishing. You're clearing the pathways. You're helping
Exactly.
people see where the flow needs to happen. You're helping
Right.
them to be able to see, oh, this is the path of least resistance that brings me the most joy. Well, let's do that. There's no need to like come over here where all these rocks are.
Oh
Let's
no.
go over where all the fertile soil is.
That is already prepared.
Hmm.
It's prepared already.
Yep.
Plant and grow there. That's what it's
Yes.
about. Planting and growing over there, and just finding the path that's going to be the best route for you to get there.
Right.
And sometimes we can uncover that for ourselves. Most times you're going to need somebody like myself or you or some other coach that you can connect with and you feel comfortable with to uncover everything, to share it all, the bare nothings, in order to break it all down and then rebuild consciously and with integrity and effort. It's all
Yeah.
intentional.
It's that component of, you know, I like to talk about how when we were a toddler, when we were, an infant even,
Yeah.
it's like we knew what we needed. We knew what we wanted, right? We needed to eat. We needed to be curious and look at the world and to demand, right? I'm hungry, feed me. And all of that, that's authentically us, and that demanding for having your needs met, it's an
Right.
inherent right in what we are as a person, but
Yes.
we forget. And so there's a component of, you know what, I do deserve this, this is mine, and I have this life and I want that, so how
Go
am
get
I going to make it happen?
go get it.
Yeah, yeah, and what are the steps to do that?
Playing around with it,
Yep.
you know? And put on the I don't care. I don't care what you think. I'm
Yep.
going to go and get that because a lot of people hide behind I wonder what other people would think. What if I fail? Or I'm afraid. Those are typical questions or statements, things that we hear all the time. But
Yeah.
then I always say, I don't care.
Other
Who?
people's opinions of me are not my business.
None. It's theirs. Let them
Yes,
do it because I'm
absolutely.
regardless. I'm shining if you choose to or not.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
And then we want to surround ourselves with people who do want that for us, whose
Right.
opinions we are like, right, I do value your opinion because you are joined with me so that we both achieve our goals, so that we're both walking this path. It's like
It's
you
support.
yes, absolutely. You surround yourself with that community so that
Right.
you have the support in order to thrive.
And you learn that quickly.
Yes.
You learn that quickly because everybody that's in your circle is not for you. They are
Yeah.
not.
And you you learn how to start to listen to yourself again, so
Right.
that you start to listen to not only what your body is saying, but the words that are happening in your head. But
Yes.
that discernment is so important for figuring out what is the right path, who are the people around me that nourish me, who,
Right.
what is it that I do need to be doing, and that ability to listen to ourselves is
Uh huh.
so important
Uh
that
huh.
I mean, I teach it to everybody that I work with. It's part of what I do with people, because we have to know what our body and our spirits and our minds and our hearts are saying.
Yes. And it's not, something that's going to hurt you. It's
Right.
actually leading you to the place that you've never been. Therefore, you're going to feel a tad bit of resistance or discomfort, put it that way. That's when you embrace it.
And learning how to
Always in the
discern what's the discomfort of, this is not a good choice, versus this is the discomfort of growth.
Yeah.
And that's really important. It's like I have this one little thing that happens in me every time I'm in a situation where I'm like, I'm not supposed to do this right now.
You can
But it
tell.
took me time to figure out that that's what that feeling was.
Yes.
And then and now I know, oh, that's that thing. I heads up, pay attention to this, versus, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable because I'm like spreading my wings a little bit here and I'm doing something new that is fulfilling what my path is.
Right. And it just gives you a little twinge in your stomach, just
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. However, squint your eyes and then look through to the other side because it is very beautiful over there.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Nancy Clark, Tanisha Baskins, Courtney Spencer, welcome to the room. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. But you know what? I'm going to ask you this, Steph.
Yeah.
Laughing Dragon.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
So laughing is always good, right? It goes back
Yes.
to that joy component.
Yeah.
Dragons are really important. So I work with the energy of dragons, and the energy of dragons are it's that wise dragon of staying connected to who you are, and the fierceness and the gracefulness and the fluidity that happens. And so there's a lot of dragon energy, but also looking back through creation myths through time. In many, many cultures, we hear the creation myths of twin serpents and dragons. And that really, when we look at particularly the twin serpents, and we even look at our own, the medical symbols that we use in our country of the twin serpents, and we look back through time of how those creation myths are, and those twin serpents are our DNA. The dragons are our DNA. And so when we look at that, I talk about the dragon energy is like the DNA of our spirit and our DNA of our physical body coming together to intertwine to who we are, and that intertwining is the alignment, and that's where the joy and the laughter comes from. And I talk about how that DNA and that dragon energy of our spirit is our soul song. And so when we sing our song and we combine that with our physical body, our entire being and our like cellular structures start to dance. And how can we not laugh when we're dancing?
It's laughter every time because your song just came on.
Yep.
And that's what I was telling you before. Every time you experience that aha, think about your favorite song coming on the radio.
Yep. Yeah.
That's my song. You do that that's my song. And even if you get to work and your song comes on before you get out that car, you don't get out and go to work until that song goes on. So that's how I look at that. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful thing. And I love how you came about to put the pieces of that together and explain it that way.
Yeah.
Because I never would have thought. And when I saw the name, that alone was enough for me to meet you and bring you on. I said, what is this lady talking about laughing dragon? What is that?
Having fun.
Like, what is she really into? I don't know about this one here. Hold on. Let me talk to her. So when I talked to you, then it was like, oh my goodness. I love that so much because the way you're looking at the dragons is how I look at sparrows. Mm-hmm. It's the same with sparrows.
Yeah.
It's still movement. It's still alignment. It's still connecting with the spirit and God. That's all it is. Luke 12:6.
Yep.
You can buy 5 sparrows for little old 2 cents. And in the eyesight of man, sparrows value absolutely nothing. However, in the eyesight of God, you have to worry about nothing. He takes care of everything when you trust. It's that type of a relationship. So therefore, in the eyesight of God, the sparrow value just as much as mankind itself. One spirit, one without a spirit. It's the one and the same. So it just goes to say movement is flying. Mm-hmm. when it comes to the song, they sing all the
Yes.
time. No
Yes.
word. You've never seen a sad sparrow.
No.
You've never seen one. It's always joy. It's always excitement. No care in this world. Very strong,
Hmm.
forceful, love family, does anything. Guess what it goes back to? Not a work-life balance. Everything is
Right.
with family, for family.
And it, it's like that component of inherent authenticity,
Yeah.
of always following what your path is and
Yes.
always knowing what it is that you're going to do and not worrying about what else is happening out here. It's the connection to who you are and what you need to be doing, and then dancing that song. And it's like
Absolutely.
that's why I talk about soul song dancing. It's actually the name of my book. That we need to dance to the notes of our soul song. We need to dance to who we are, and that is exactly what happens when the sparrow always goes back to the same place. It's right. It's got the flying. It knows what it's going to do. It's got a mission, and then it's going back home. And that it's like the best compliment one of my early clients ever paid me was that she, I said, tell me about what it is, and she was like, you taught me how to come home again. And it's that coming home to who we are.
Yes. Yes. Stephanie,
Yeah.
if I could get to you, I'd hug you.
Yeah.
You know
Virtual
what?
hug. So we do virtual hugs in our house because when my son was very little, he didn't want to be touched. And so, you always do kisses, right? Well, virtual hug is this. So you are now hugged. Yes. There you go.
And then I always follow with the smooches.
Yes.
Remember when we talked this morning and I
Mhm.
said by the time I see you later today, I will have both hands polished of my nails?
Yes. Yes.
Check it out. Wait.
Oh,
Wait.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Check it out.
Ah!
That's a soul song.
There you go. Nice.
That's a soul song. And guess what? I don't care. I don't
Yep.
care
No.
because it was other things that was more important, you know?
Yep. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about the priorities and the choices and taking action.
Taking actions now. You know, Laura, you're amazing. She says, great book for walking through this. So, yes. And do you have your book to show?
Hang on.
You're quite welcome, Laura. I'm grateful you're here. There. And I love all that beauty of color. It's so vibrant.
Well,
So be
it's
sure to share that information of where can the sparrows get your book? Is it an Amazon book?
it next week it will be an Amazon book. I'm in the process of doing that. You can order a PDF of it through me.
Okay.
Or if you want a hard copy of the first version, you can just let me know and I will send that to you. But I'm in the process of giving it onto Amazon. But right now it's just a PDF and I have a few hard copies printed.
Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is awesome.
It's a workbook, and so I did a first run and had people go through it and got feedback and then made some changes to it. And so the version 2 is about to go live.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
That is awesome news. And I'm going to have to get me a copy. I want the hard copy though.
Okay.
I want that. So as soon as it goes live, let me know.
Absolutely.
And if you do something in particular, let me know so I can share with the sparrows. Because I like
Absolutely.
to, when I have guests on my show, new things that's happening with you, all the juice, I like to know so I can share.
Thank you. That would be fabulous because I really enjoy being on your show. I'm glad we met. This is really good.
I am glad too. I don't know what it all means outside of this, but I'm excited for whatever comes.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You're a really genuinely great person. If you were not, you wouldn't be sitting right there.
Well, it works both ways.
That's right. I told you I handpicked the people that come on here.
And I don't always say yes. So yeah.
Everybody can't come, Steph.
I appreciate it. I like sitting here.
And it's to the point of where we're talking about, discovery of self, personal development, understanding who you are, and those layers that get you there. My second book is talking about that very thing.
Mm-hmm.
I accept me, being bold, being brave, being fierce. And it's
Yep.
a spin off, a handoff to a three-part trilogy from book one, How I Became Fabulous and a Lady All the Time. So having that, Kanya Jones, thank you so much for dropping into the room. However, Stephanie, I had to slow my roll on the release of the book. It's supposed to release on my birthday, February 17th. That was the plan. I'm going to have to wait because there's so much more juicy things that the higher power
Mm-hmm.
has said, you know what? No, ma'am, you will be putting this in that book. So I've pushed it off just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something really grand behind it. Because when I say I am, that's I accept me. It's accepting who you are, where you've been,
Mm-hmm.
and how you've become who you are at present. And it's also guiding you to where you're going when you take notice. Be authentic, love yourself, live in alignment. Know that for certain there is no work life balance. Everything you do is already within you. Live your life for what you were born to do and for who you were meant to be. Once you can crack the code on that, you are now alive. You are authentic. You are being you and being fabulous all the time.
Yeah.
365. That's what it's about.
I love it. Yeah. It's good.
I'm
I like
just
it.
smile my face off. I get excited. I tell you, I get excited.
Yes, it's good. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm excited about your book. I was looking forward to it for the 17th, so I'll wait for the delay.
Hold tight.
Okay.
Hold tight. Yes. Patience does bring great things, Maria. It does. And I know what's now that's to be added to it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it about me? It's for whomever is out there because I can let this out of the bag because it's about to go to print. I don't have to worry about it now. I've taken the letters of my name and really dove in on that.
Nice.
Positive affirmations blended with all of the lessons learned. It's exciting. It's exciting
I like
because
it.
when you know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
that's the foundation right there. It changes the complete trajectory of your life, of the people you are with, the people that you are now going to connect with. Because even now, leaving corporate America in April, on April 20, 2018, it's been such a change in my life with friendships, different types of relationships, and understanding the importance because it's vital to connect with like minds. It is a necessity to connect with other entrepreneurs, being in support, sharing best practices, understanding each other to support each other on this walk.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody get it.
Absolutely.
That's not an entrepreneur. They don't get that you can't call them back. So I have a disclaimer. I have a disclaimer. Listen, don't charge it to the heart when I haven't called you right back. Give me 72 hours to reach back out.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes
I'm in the zone.
Yep.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
good. Yeah.
We can't go all night, Stephanie. This is how we do. We get on and then we start talking and talking and talking. That's how juicy it is.
It's good. It's good. I, however, should go in a few minutes because I have to go and pack a suitcase
You
so that I
are
can get on an airplane tomorrow. Yeah.
traveling
Yeah.
mercies. Traveling mercies. Have fun. Have a
Yeah.
great time. I hope you
Thank you.
packed all you needed to pack.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you for
Yeah,
coming
thank
over
you.
to TVM. I appreciate that very much. It's always fabulous to chat with you. And it will be an invitation for you to come back because I know some other things that you're going to be getting into or in the midst of doing.
I am.
And do me one grand favor. And
Absolutely.
once the live is over, if you could put into comments where you can be reached, your website, how your book can be retrieved, everything. You can say it now, but I just want you to
I'm
be able
easy.
to
Everything's Laughing Dragon Coaching.
go figure.
I'll put the links in the comments, but everything's Laughing Dragon Coaching.
Go figure. Go figure. I love it. And I think you're amazing. I appreciate you taking the time. This is heart to heart, coach to coach, author to author.
Yeah.
It's like that. It really is. And I'm excited for everything you haven't even done yet.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just, this is good. This is
It
good.
is good.
Yeah.
It is. And so I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go as well. Sparrows, thank you so much. Everyone who came to the room that I didn't personally say your name, know that I love you anyway. It was just juiciness taking place at the time, and we just could not stop to say hi every single time, but I'm saying it now.
Yes.
And at the end of the show, we will go back and we will respond to every comment that was posted. Veronica Mars, thank you for coming back in. And you're appreciated always. You know, I go through this thing every single live because I appreciate taking time out of your life to spend with us. Everything that is brought on by TVM is because it's consciousness, it's bringing about awareness, it's helping you to have a better life, push yourself to greater. And that's how it's a sparrow world. You have to get all the juiciness that you can get. And anything I know, the people that I meet and cross paths with, I'm going to bring them here because they have something to share as well.
I appreciate everyone listening and being on here and participating as well.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to say love without conditions, always possess a positive attitude, and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Be blessed and smooches. Thanks, Steph.
Thank you.
Give me a jingle or something when you're back home.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.